Hello everyone and welcome to this new video guys. So in this video we are going to cover class 12th history, book 1, theme 2, that is kings, farmers and town. So this is part 1 of this video. In this we will cover few questions and this is important for your board exams, your pre-boards and everything. Okay. So please subscribe to the channel, and if you have not done yet, please do subscribe so that I'll get the support and you will get the notification whenever I'll upload the video. So in this lesson we are going to cover important questions topic wise. Topic wise means the order in which they are given in the book. Okay. We are also going to discuss those points which must be there in your answer. However, you need to elaborate upon the points which are mentioned in this video. Okay, you can make your answer out of these points, but do not copy the exactly points. Okay, do not copy the exact points. Make changes to them, add things to them, subtract things from them. Okay, in this way you can modify. Then how much do you write, that I'll tell you. That is an important thing. Like your answer should be a balanced answer, not too long, not too short. Okay, so you can consider this video as a question bank where answers are provided, and I'm also providing you the points which must be there in your answer. Okay, so when you subscribe to my channel, just comment that I subscribed and I'll reply to you so that we can get connected. Okay, so moving on to the first question. First question is, why is 6th century BC regarded as a major turning point in early history? Or it can be asked in another language or in other words, like why Magad became important in 600 BCE. So the basic reason is, guys, that we actually started getting the written evidences from this period. Okay, so basically the written history begins from this period. That's why this is a major turning point, though there are various other points which we are going to see. Okay, so 6th century BC, why is it important, इसके बारे में थोड़ी सी बात करते हैं. So the text and the inscriptions from this era are composed in variety of languages, and you must be knowing Prakrit and certain languages like Pali, etc. Okay, so which helped European and Indian scholars to reconstruct the major lineages of dynasties which has ruled the subcontinent. Okay, so you can mention, for example, Nandas, Mauryas, etc. Okay, so in this first point you can mention that example. That's why I was saying that you need to elaborate upon some points. Okay, moving on to the next point which you have to write in your answer. Between 400 BCE to 600 BC, Magad became an important Mahajanpad. Okay, so Magad became an important Mahajanpad, and these are the same reasons for why the 6th century BC is considered as a turning point. Okay, so the answer will remain same for both of these questions. That is why 6th century BC is turning point and why Magad became important. Okay, so now let us discuss these points. So between 400 BCE to 600 BC, Magad became an important Mahajanpad due to following reasons. That is, agriculture was very productive. You must be knowing that this lied in a region of Gangetic plain. Okay, the large rivers like Ganga, Yamuna used to flow through this region, and they do flow through this region right now. So that is why the land was fertile. Secondly, iron mines were accessible and provided resources for tools and weapons, which made the military very strong. Okay, so 2 points we have discussed. Now moving on to the third point. Elephants, an important component, were found in Magad forest. Okay, so elephant was an active element in the you can say army of Magad region, which further strengthened the army. Not only the army, but the elephants could be used as mode of transportation. They could be used to carry goods from here to there. Okay, and they can be used for various kind of purposes. The fourth point is that Ganges and its tributaries provided the means of cheap and convenient communication. As I said, the river transport, you can say. Okay, and it made the movement of people very easy. Okay, armies could move from here to there through the flow of these rivers. People could move from one place to other very easily. Secondly, you have to mention here about the political reasons. Okay, so let us discuss about the political reasons, but first let us revise what we have done yet. So when you will write this answer, first of all you will mention about the texts and inscription of this era, which are composed in variety of languages like Pali and Prakrit, and they help us to reconstruct the major lineages of dynasties which ruled the subcontinent. Okay, you will mention about these. Then you will talk about the important changes which took place in Magad, that is agriculture became productive, iron mines were discovered, and what was the impact of iron mines, that is it helped to produce tools and weapons which made military strong. Then elephants were found in Magad forest, which were an important component. Then you will mention about Ganges and its tributaries, which were means of communication. Now we are going to discuss the political reasons. Okay, so policies of ruthlessly ambitious king like Bimbisara, Ajatashatru, and Mahapadmananda. Okay, they were the reasons why Magad became very very strong, because when the leaders are strong, all so automatically the place also becomes strong and it gains a strategic and you can say a strong position. Okay, then the strategic position of Magad was another major reason why Magad became important and why it was like important for the rulers, you can say. Okay, then strategic position, and uske baad you are supposed to write the name of its like capital, which was Patliputra. And I mean, first of all its capital was Rajgir, and then it was shifted to Patliputra because they wanted to command the routes of communication along Ganges. Okay, so you'll mention about it. So uh, political reasons and this strategic position wala point is like, you can say, geographical reason. Okay, now these were the points which you are supposed to write in this particular answer. Now moving on to the next point, that is discuss the next question, sorry, that is discuss the different sources of study modern period. So in this you have to mention about the sources. So you can write down introduction in 2 points, like we have various resources to, or various sources to reconstruct the past of any kind of period, but particularly talking about the period, we have the following resources or the sources. So the first point would be inscription and written records. Okay, so inscription and written records. The accounts of Megasthenes, you have to mention about Megasthenes' account, who was ambassador to Chandragupta Maurya's court, and his account is known as Indica. Okay, you can elaborate upon this point that Indica is not available right now. We find the mention of Indica here and there in the various other text. ठीक है, वो जो Indica text लिखा गया था वो आज की डेट में इंटैक्ट नहीं है, लेकिन हमें उस का जो नाम है, इंडिका जो पर्टिकुलर टेक्स्ट का नाम है जो उस टाइम पे लिखा गया था, उसका जिक्र हमें और टेक्स्ट्स में मिलता है, और उस इंडिका में जो जो बातें गई थी वो भी कही गई थी वो भी हमारे को दूसरे टेक्स्ट में देखने को मिलती हैं. ओके, सो द सेकेंड पॉइंट वुड बी कौटिल्या's अर्थशास्त्र, which is also another important and major source, particularly deals with administrative policies, that is Arthashastra. His book is called as Arthashastra, okay, in which he talks about administrative policies. The third thing, or the third source you can say, is Sanskritic and Puranic. Buddhist and Jaina literary works also provide information about Mauryas. Okay, so in this point you will have to mention about the Sanskritic and Puranic text, Buddhist and Jaina text. Okay, you can find the names of such text on internet, or you can find the names in the sources in your NCERT book. Okay, that blue box sources which are there in your book. Moving on to the next point, that is archaeological sources. Okay, so the inscriptions of Ashoka on rocks, major and minor edict, pillar inscriptions as well, are major sources to reconstruct the past of this period. Okay, then example of Sarnath inscription has to be given, okay, which mention that Ashoka was the ruler who inscribed his messages to his subjects and officials on stone surfaces. Then coins are also another important source. However, their exact usage is still unknown from this period, because they were found in very limited quantity, you can say. So if the quantity is limited, it simply means that they were not used for circulation but for some other purpose. Okay, so these are the various points. Let us revise them. Let's see uh, what are the points which we are supposed to write. Okay, so first of all, you will mention about inscription and records. Okay, that is Indica and Arthashastra you have to mention. And what does Arthashastra throw light on, you have to talk about it. Okay, so you will write that Arthashastra throw light on administrative policies. Then you have to mention about Sanskritic and Puranic text, then Buddhist and Jaina literary works. Okay, mention the names of these texts also. You have to find the name of these टेक्स्ट सांस्कृतिक और पुरानिक ट्रेडिशंस के जो टेक्स्ट हैं और बुद्धिस्ट और जैना ट्रेडिशन के जो टेक्स्ट हैं उनके नाम आप इंटरनेट से ढूंढ के इस पॉइंट में मेंशन कर लेना. उसके बाद आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्सेज की बात करना. ठीक है, उसके बारे में हमने बात कर ली, रॉक एडिक्ट्स वगैरह. फिर उसके बाद कॉइन्स के बारे में मेंशन कर देना. ओके, सो टोटल 4-5 पॉइंट आपके इसमें से बन जाएंगे और आपको इसमें सही मार्क्स मिल जाएंगे. ओके, सो मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Next question is discuss the notion of kingship developed in post-Mauryan period. Okay, so इसमें मौर्य की नहीं, post-Maurya period की बात करनी है. Okay, so post-Mauryan period saw emergence of many foreign tribes. जैसा कि आपको पता होगा काफ़ी foreign tribes आ रहे थे, जिनमें कि शाक्य, कुशाना, सतवाहनास जो थे वो इंडिया में आए and they gradually started setting up their kingdom. ठीक है, और इन्होंने अपना रूल जो था वो इस्टेब्लिश कर लिया. जैसे कुशानास का जो रूल था वो वेस्ट साइड से लेकर के नॉर्थ साइड तक था इंडिया के. सिमिलरली सातवाहनास जो थे वो सेंट्रल इंडिया में थे. ठीक है, तो इस तरह से इन्होंने अपने किंगडम्स सेटअप किए. तो फर्स्ट पॉइंट यू विल राइट दैट पोस्ट मॉडर्न पीरियड सॉ इमर्जेंस ऑफ वेरियस फॉरेन ट्राइब्स और उनके नाम मेंशन कर देना. देन आउट ऑफ ऑल दीज ट्राइब्स विच वी जस्ट मेंशन्ड, कुशानास इमर्ज्ड टू बी वेरी पावरफुल. देयर स्ट्रैटेजी वाज एज फॉलोज. ठीक है, उनकी स्ट्रैटेजी बतानी है. They ruled all over North India from about 1st century CE. They were the one who, for claiming high status in society, identified themselves with variety of deities. ठीक है, वो अपने आप को भगवान से एसोसिएट करते थे. एंड दिस नोशन इज एविडेंट फ्रॉम दियर कॉइन्स एंड स्कल्पचर्स. ठीक है, तो जो उनके स्कल्पचर्स हैं, उनके कॉइन्स हैं, उनमें हमारे को ऐसी एक छवि देखने को मिलती है जहाँ पर वो खुद को भगवान से या गॉड से एसोसिएट करते हुए दिखाई देते हैं. ठीक है, और ऐसा वो इसलिए करते हैं ताकि वो एक हाई स्टेटस सोसाइटी में क्लेम कर सके. मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. ह्यूज स्टैचूज ऑफ कुशाना रूलर्स हैव बीन फाउंड इंस्टॉल्ड इन अ श्राइन नियर मट एट मथुरा एंड एट अ श्राइन इन अफगानिस्तान. According to some historians, Kushanas depicted them as godlike. Okay, so similarly, the third point also says that Kushanas just not associated themselves with the god, but they tried to depict themselves as god. Okay, so second और third point में ये difference है कि second point में they are associating themselves with the gods and deities through the means of coins and sculptures. In the third point, they are depicting themselves as god. Okay, so that is the difference. Okay, so you have to mention both these points. Then many rulers adopted the titles like Devaputra, meaning son of god. Okay, again they are trying to legitimize their rule in the name of god. Many rulers adopted titles of Devaputra, meaning son of god, as I just said, which was possibly inspired by Chinese ruler who called themselves son of हेवन. ठीक है, जो चाइनीज़ रूलर थे उनसे ये इंस्पायर्ड था और चाइनीज़ रूलर्स जो थे वो अपने आप को सन ऑफ हेवन बताते थे, यानी कि स्वर्ग का पुत्र. ओके, सो दिस स्ट्रैटेजी बिकेम लार्जली accepted. Okay, so these are the few points, 4 points which you have to mention in your answer, and you will be able to write a very good 4-mark answer using these points. Now moving on to the next question. So next question says discuss the popular perception of kings with the help of Jataka and Panchatantra. Okay, so Jataka and Panchatantra are basically the story books. Jataka are Buddhist stories, okay, Buddhist text, and Panchatantra is not associated to Buddhism, it is a general text. Then Jatakas were the stories written in Pali around middle of 1st century CE. One Jataka story, you have to mention the name of that Jataka story also, that is Ganda Tindu Jatak story describes the story of wicked king and plight of his subject, not these subjects. यहाँ पे his आएगा, not these. ठीक है, इसको करेक्ट कर लेना, these को काट के his कर लेना. ठीक है, his subjects. As the king went to them in disguise, the villagers cursed him for high taxes, and attacks were done by robbers. So what does it throw light on? It throws light on the fact that kings and his subjects were often used to have strained relationships, and this was due to the fact that kings imposed high taxes to fill in their treasuries, and peasants found this demand oppressive and often escaped to forest. Okay, so they had a strained relation, that is, this was not good. Then Panchtantra was another collection of stories which personified animals and plants in nature. Through them, the stories reflected the norms of societies and duties assigned to each member. Okay, so that's how they throw the perception of kings with help of stories and other real incidents. Okay, so that's how these texts help us. So write about Panchtantra in little detail. Okay, like I have mentioned one point, so you add on one point from your own knowledge. Through book you will find those points, and if in case you are unable to make a good answer out of it, just comment below, I'll give you some points. Okay, and if you will write down only these points which I have mentioned, you will get the average marks. Okay, not the full marks, you will get average marks. So there is a task which is on you, that is to find one more point to write about Panchtantra. Okay, and if you are not able to find the point, do mention in the comment section below so that I can help you out. Moving on to the next question. Next question is discuss in brief about Ashoka's Dhamma, that is his, you can say, not religious policy but the moral policy. Okay, so let us discuss what was it. So Dhamma was social policy and moral rules and regulations which was laid down by Ashoka for his subjects, through which he conveyed his messages to the world. You can say he codified the rules, या जो भी रूल्स थे या जो भी लॉज फॉलो करने थे वो उसने सब कुछ लिखवा दिया था रिटन फॉर्म में. ठीक है, सो दीज मैसेजेस और धम्मा इज इंस्क्राइब्ड ऑन अ पिलर एडिक्ट्स एंड रॉक एडिक्ट्स which are generally written in Brahmi language, Kharoshti and Aramic script. Then these edicts contained the messages which taught respect towards elders, generosity towards the Brahmanas and those who renounced the worldly life, and treating slaves and servants with kindness and respect of other religions. Okay, so you need to mention about these things which are mentioned in the Dhamma. Okay, so first of all you will describe कि धम्मा था क्या, उसके बाद आप बताओगे कि धम्मा जो था वो कहाँ पे लिखा जाता था और किस लैंग्वेज में लिखा जाता था. उसके बाद आप बताओगे कि धम्मा में एग्जैक्टली था क्या. ठीक है, उसके फीचर्स क्या थे. ठीक है, और उसके बाद इतना करने के बाद you will talk about Dhamma Mahamatras, who were these people. So Dhamma Mahamatras were responsible for enforcement of Dhamma. ठीक है, कि धम्मा जो है लोग ढंग से फॉलो करें, इसलिए धम्मा महापात्रा टाइप का एक you can say group or some people were selected. Okay, then examples have been found from Afghanistan, Lumbini and Sarnath. ठीक है, हमें ये 3-4 जगहें, ऐसी बहुत सारी जगहें हैं इनफैक्ट, बट हमने ये 3 मेंशन करी हैं, अफगानिस्तान, लुम्बिनी और राजस्थान, just to make our answer brief. Okay, so these are the 4 or 5 points which you need to write for this particular answer, and if you will just copy down these points you will get full marks. Okay, this is a well written, well framed answer. There is no information which is missing. However, you can add on to it, like धम्मा महापात्रास वाले पॉइंट में कुछ बातें और ऐड कर सकते हो टू मेक योर आंसर बेटर. ओके, और एग्जाम्पल्स में भी कुछ और एग्जाम्पल्स और ऐड कर सकते हो. ठीक है, सो आई एम गिविंग यू द मेजर पॉइंट्स जो आंसर में होने ही होने चाहिए, जिसके ऊपर आपको मार्क्स मिलने हैं. ओके, सो दिस इज़ ऑल फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर वीडियो गाइज. सो प्लीज़ गिव द फीडबैक इन कमेंट सेक्शन, चाहे पसंद आया नहीं आया, बट गिव द फीडबैक. देन लाइक द वीडियो एंड आस्क योर क्वायरी, अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है तो पूछ सकते हो, एंड यू कैन सब्सक्राइब टू द चैनल फॉर more such videos. Thanks for watching the video. Have a good day.